Hey, good evening. Today's Bible study comes from Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 6, and they read as follows. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. This section of Matthew chapter 7 is talking about judging others. And the word judge is translated from a Greek word krino. And you can see that in other parts of the Bible. But the word here is just saying that you cannot do any type of judging for the spiritual realm. In other words, even while Jesus was here, he did not judge. He didn't come to judge. If you look at John 12 and 47, it says, if anyone hears my sayings and does not keep them, I do not judge him. For I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. It is not judgment time. And we definitely, meaning you and I, don't have the ability to presume or determine someone's salvation or the lack of it. And like I said, Jesus didn't even do it at that time. If you exercise that judgment, you'll be jumping ahead of the gun. It'll be premature because judgment time isn't here yet. And it already tells you who will be judging, and it's not you, and it definitely isn't me. But if you look at 1 Corinthians 4 and 5, it says, therefore do not go on passing judgment before the time, but wait until the Lord comes, who will both bring to light the things hidden in the darkness and disclose the motives of men's hearts. And then each man's praise, excuse me, will come to him from God. So once again, I can't tell you somebody's hidden secret, and if you can't judge them about their salvation. You don't know where they are at in their spiritual walk in life. All we do is share, love, and help one another on that road. Um, the other thing is, um, we devoted people to observe these things, and that was bad because they couldn't do anything about it. And some of them still feel that they have the right to judge others and defend it on the basis of Jesus' words. Well, we can't do that either. It says, we will know them by their fruits. We'll know them by their fruits. It also tells you that you will know my disciples by their love, not by your judgment of them. Now, it does tell you we can defend the word and discerning and judging, because people say, well, discerning is judging. Well, discerning and judging are two different things. One is making a private, personal, and tentative appraisal of others is not forbidden. That's not forbidden. But judging into the spiritual is. If you see somebody that is lying on the Lord's word and you know it's wrong, that's not judging, that's discerning. You should know the difference between good and evil. And you should speak out about the difference between good and evil, especially when they're lying on the Lord's word. Because his word is always true, and a lie on it is a lie on it. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured unto you. These are almost identical expressions, and they repeat. But they're repeating because it's being emphasized that if you judge hard, you're going to be judged hard. If you pick a way that that person can't succeed, you're going to get the same way that they can't succeed. If you remember the statement about putting a millstone loosed around your neck, that could happen. People's destiny encourage a judgment from them, resulting in all kinds of bitterness. Somebody just don't like you. Um, they could be vindictive. They could hate you. They could know something personal about you, but none of their judgments are righteous. Only one's judgment is righteous. So they can't judge you. And why beholdest thou the mote that is thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? That's the wood and the plank. One who judges others is compared to a person presuming to cast a splinter out of his brother's eye while he can't see with a plank in his own eye. And why would you pull that little piece out your brother's eye and leave that huge piece in your eye? And what it's saying is you aren't paying attention to your own self. You are looking at others and you're missing the faults that lie within you. You're looking at somebody else's little faults and you don't realize the big faults that lie within you. And we all have faults. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me cast the mote out of thine eye, and lo, the beam is in thine own eye? And this was just discussed. This is verse 4. And this is a very accurate comparison. This is a handicap when located in the eye. That's one thing we have to know, because if your eye is something's in it or covering it, you can't see, you don't function the same. And I think this was a deliberate statement by Jesus to tell you, you need to fix that so you can get right and see right and be on the right path yourself before you go and try to fix somebody else's path. I remember our pastor was saying one day in church, the oxygen mask falls down, get yours first, fix yours first, then try to go help somebody else out. Thou hypocrite, cast out the first beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote of thy brother's eye. As I just said, fix yourself up first. Hey, I can't judge you with the same faults you have. How could I? That's why we aren't supposed to judge. I have the same problems you have. See, when it tells you the Lord will bring the things to light, I can't even bring them to light. See, the Lord is going to tell you some things about me that I've been keeping to myself. I can't bring a man. No man can walk up and tell you, but the Lord can. He's going to do the same towards you. So judge yourself. Get your beam out of your own eye. Verse 7, ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Christ is just saying, pray. You should always pray. You should always pray. Luke 18:1 says, now he was telling them in a parable to show them at all times they ought to pray and not lose heart. We should never lose heart with the Lord. He has been faithful. We have fouled up, messed up, screwed up. We have been unfaithful. And right here you see that Jesus says prayer will be answered. And it doesn't have to be when you expect it, because we always want to be at a precise time in the manner we expect it. But God answers prayers gradually, and he answers them when he finds it his will and his time, and he answers them when you are being obedient and actually listening to him so you can see the prayer being answered. You may not like the process, but understand the progress. Or is it the other way? Yeah, you may not like the process, but look at the progress. And the Lord has been answering prayers all the time. Make sure that you don't give up praying. The Lord will answer. And don't judge others. Love on one another. We won't be known as disciples of Christ by our judging of others. It will be by our love. And discern evil, we should. We should know the difference between right and evil, or right and wrong. And we should study so that we can tell when somebody's trying to lie to us, because false prophets are here. It didn't say that we couldn't make a call on that. That's called discerning. But spiritual judging, we have no say so on it because you don't know what my soul says, and I don't know what your soul says. That belongs to somebody much higher than all of us. Amen.